Look out, boxing fans, your boy Ashy Knuckles. After going over the fight over and over in my head, I think now is probably the best time to go ahead and do a breakdown of the fight that quote unquote everybody's been waiting on. Literally, everybody's been waiting on this fight to the point where they're about to just say F it all, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people have a lot of different takes regarding this fight. The theory is that Floyd Mayweather struggles with lefties, even though his professional career has debunked that theory in many different ways. Of course, the premise of that notion is that he was buckled by Southpaws when he faced them. But the bottom line is the result was always the same. And I think I would give credence to that theory if he was never buckled by any other stance in the game. And we know that's not true. I mean, he staggered a bit when he got hit by Maidana. He was hurt when he got hit by Shane Mosley. Castillo gave him a little trouble in their first fight. Even Emmanuel Augustus, who was very unorthodox, he gave Floyd a real good fight. Floyd was never hurt, even though his nose was bleeding in the corner. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. I think that fight was on KO Nation. I don't know if y'all remember. That may be before some of you guys' time, but that fight was on KO Nation, if I'm not mistaken. Mayweather versus Emmanuel Burton at that time, not Emmanuel Augustus. Same guy, just his last name was different at that time. So I don't really give credence to the theory that Mayweather struggles with southpaws. I think Mayweather has a harder time dealing with guys who apply pressure. Not saying he can't fight those guys. Obviously, he's beaten guys who apply pressure. He's knocked out guys who have applied pressure. But I think guys who close the distance on him real fast and make him fight, those are the guys who give him the most trouble. I think anybody who tries to box with Mayweather, I've said that years ago, you will not win that fight. You will not beat Mayweather by trying to outbox him. You're not on the same page. That's just the way it is. Now, probably the only guy out there who will give Floyd trouble in terms of trying to box with him is Amir Khan. I said possibly. There's no guarantee with that, and that's only because of his dimensions. He's tall, he's rangy, and he's fast. You know, and Floyd hasn't had to deal with not just speed, but speed with range like that. And still and so, I'm not willing to pick him to beat Amir Khan. I'm not willing to pick, Amir Khan to beat Mayweather, because time and still beats speed. A good jab and body punching can beat speed. You can make a moving target stand still by going to the body. But anyway, I digress on that notion. I don't think southpaws give Mayweather trouble. In fact, I think the more he has faced southpaws, the better he has fared against them, to the point where I think maybe southpaws may be easier for him than right-handed fighters. I think Floyd just has a good read on southpaws, kind of like Orlando Salido. The southpaws, he eat those guys in his career. Orlando Salido, not saying that he's anywhere near Mayweather. I'm just saying he has a read on southpaws, unlike a lot of guys. He has a read on them. His counter right hand meets a southpaw every time, which is why it was absolutely easy to predict him to beat Juan Manuel Lopez when the big upset happened years ago with Juan Manuel Lopez, Juanma, back when everybody was on his bandwagon. The more he has faced southpaws, the better he has fared against them. He has a good read on them, and a lot of people seem to revisit the fight with Mayweather versus Zab Judah, where Zab Judah had some success in the first 4 rounds of the fight. I broke that fight down years ago. In fact, I had some film. I was able to salvage some of that video. I think it still may be loaded. A video I did on that fight a long time ago. I think people are looking at the wrong aspects of that fight in terms of what took place that night. If you know Zab Judah and you watched his career at any point, you know Zab Judah does everything well when it's coming off of his jab. If he can establish a good southpaw jab, whoever he's fighting gonna have problems because he's fast, he got good power, he always had good power. But when he was younger, he threw a lot of punches in combination. Something he got away with as his career progressed. He had gotten to the point where he was throwing one punch at a time, looking for one punch power, which is normal with a boxer puncher. He kind of falls in love with his power. Same thing happened to Zab. He wasn't putting his punches together. He fell in love with the power, and for good reason. He had like 8 first-round knockouts, and you know he's hurting many a guy with that left hand, whether it was straight or from the uppercut. He was in love with the uppercut, but I think his straight left, excuse me, did just as much damage, and he kind of got away from throwing it. But in that fight with Mayweather, Mayweather did exactly what he needed to do against a southpaw. Not in terms of keeping his lead foot on the outside of the southpaw lead foot. Well, already everybody should know the fundamentals of facing a southpaw by now. Keeping your foot on the outside of their lead foot, circling to your left if you're a conventional fighter, because you will indeed force the southpaw to circle to his left, which is his power hand. If the southpaw circles to his left, which is his power hand, he's actually in the line of fire for the conventional guy's right hand. It's actually a trap. I've said this years ago. But when a right-handed fighter circles to his right when facing a southpaw, it's actually a trap on his end, because it looks like the openings are on that side, but it's not. You're only walking into a southpaw's line of fire, which is his straight left hand. That's not the way Floyd beat Zab Judah. He beat Zab Judah by timing. And Zab Judah has a good jab. He does have a good jab. Sometimes he doubles it, sometimes looking for that big punch, which is a good thing, because if you offset the timing of your jab, most guys can't get a read on it. But what Floyd did is he countered the jab. He went right over the top of it every time. And if you can take Zab Judah's jab away from him, he's cooked, because everything he does well comes off of the southpaw jab. If you watch any of his old fights, or if you ever watch him coming up through the ranks, whether he was fighting on ESPN, Friday night fights or Tuesday night fights, they used to do both, I believe, at that time, you know, back when he was fighting guys like Villarreal, or I think maybe he fought Jan Bergman no, I think he fought Jan on Showtime. Mickey Ward, I think he fought Mickey Ward on ESPN. That was a learning experience for Zab. I like Mickey Ward. I was always a Mickey Ward fan. I wasn't really an Arturo Gotti fan. Sorry for you Gotti lovers out there. Mickey Ward was my guy, and the reason why he was my guy is because he fought guys he didn't have to fight, because he wanted to prove that he can be in there with them. And that's why he has so many fucking losses, because he didn't have a guy or a team that was guiding his career. He got in the ring with guys that were supposed to beat him, and they beat him, but he got in the ring with them, and that's why I respect him. He was a tough guy, had a mean left hook to the body, and his career could have went entirely different if he would have been properly guided throughout his career. Tough guy, Irish Mickey Ward. And let's not forget the fact that he beat Gotti in that first fight, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought he beat him. Been a long time. But anyway, Mayweather went over the top of Zab Judah's jab, and once he took Zab Judah's jab away from him, he closed the distance on him, and he was able to pick him apart as he saw fit. I think the bugaboo for Pacquiao is that he don't have a good jab. His jab is his rangefinder. He'll jump out there with it to find his range, and then he's coming with thunder right behind it. And I think that would be to his detriment, and I think that jab is so weak that Mayweather's going to do the exact same thing to him. As soon as he throw that rangefinder over there, he's going to get a fist in the mouth. And if Manny Pacquiao does not find his punching range, he is going to be reluctant to throw a lot of whirlwind punches. If you look at the Eric Morales fight, the first fight, when Morales got that jab dictated It became a very difficult fight for Pacquiao, and I think um, that's some of the things that's gonna bother Manny in this fight is that he will never be able to establish his punching range. If Floyd's timing is A1, if his A plus, if his timing is A plus in the fight, that's what's gonna happen. He'll dominate. And I know it's a big fight, and everybody's, I've even said that if you think Mayweather's gonna dominate this fight, you're crazy and stuff like that. But when you break down the styles, Manny is not a pressure fighter. He is a boxer puncher. He wants to get his punches off, and he'll jump out and reset. A pressure fighter, once he closes in and closes the gap on you and finds his punching range on the inside, he stays there because that's where he's comfortable fighting. Manny does not do that. Manny is trying to get his shots off in bunches and then reset. That's what he does. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? And if you need distance against Floyd Mayweather, I think it's only a matter of time before he gets a read on what you're trying to do. Manny is not a guy that switches up his combination punching. He kind of does the same thing over and over and over. Sometimes he may lead with that left hand. Sometimes he may throw a hook out there before he throws successive punches. But for the most part, Manny is going to throw that rangefinder out there, and then he's coming with that left hand, and he's going to throw punches and bunches afterwards. That's where his detriment is going to come in. Take a look at this video, excerpt from this video I did years ago. What he did was Zab Judah. Same thing is going to happen with Manny Pacquiao when Manny throws that rangefinder out there. It's kind of wild because, Manny has the quote-unquote 7-time trainer of the year, yet he still makes the same mistakes he's been making his whole career. I can go all day on that process. I mean, I don't see Freddie Roach the way most people see Freddie Roach. Is he a good trainer? Yes. Is he deserving of all the accolades he's gotten? Absolutely not. He's never created any fighter from scratch. Brought them through the amateurs to win amateur titles, and then brought them through the pros to win world titles. He's always taken an already made fighter and tweaked them. A lot of guys have been able to do that. But the mark of a great trainer is to take the mold and create a champion. And he has never done that. James Toney got him popular when James was making his resurgence in the cruiserweight division. And Pacquiao took his popularity to a otherworldly level because he is a media darling. Pacquiao's a media darling. And naturally, the guy who Pacquiao's having success with is going to get the acclaim as well. That's how it goes in boxing. I just don't see what everybody else sees. I don't see Miguel Cotto doing anything different than he's done in the past. I don't see any new tricks. And same thing with Pacquiao. He makes the same exact mistakes he's always made, and he was able to get away with it for so many years because of his speed. It actually took Marquez 4 times to decipher the code to secure the dominating win. He should have got the win. The dominating fight in fight 3, which he won that at least 9 rounds to 3, which he was robbed. And then the 4th fight for which he knocked Manny Pacquiao out. Manny Pacquiao has gotten away with those mistakes, like I said before, because of his speed. With Mayweather, he will not get away. He will not get away with those mistakes. He will pay for those mistakes. He will by far be facing the most cerebral challenger. Well, he's not the challenger, but he will by far be facing the most cerebral fighter in the game. And does he have a chance to win? Yes. Everybody who laces up gloves has a chance. He has more than a puncher's chance. He doesn't just have a puncher's chance. He can actually do things in this fight to make Floyd uncomfortable and secure victory. He can get on the inside and let his hands go and not reset. He can stay there where Floyd has the tendency to be uncomfortable when guys are in close throwing their shots. Not saying that they can beat him and dominate him on the inside, but you can make him reluctant to throw. And if you're throwing more punches and Floyd is not throwing punches, at the end of the day, activity is what's going to score points. If nobody is landing flush, the person who is making the fight is going to win the round. And that's how Manny Pacquiao can win the fight. He can also win the fight by knocking Floyd smooth the fuck out. These guys don't wear armor or protective shields. You cannot block every punch. Punches get through and punches hurt. And based on that premise, Pacquiao has a very good chance of landing something meaningful, hurting Floyd, and he can get him out of there. The likelihood of that happening is probably slim. Floyd has a good chin, and the times that you've seen him hurt, he's always weathered the storm, came back, and dominated the fight. So there's nothing in his history that says that he will be knocked out, and it's a great chance that it probably won't happen on that night either. But take a look at this little clip, courtesy of HBO pay-per-view. How Zab Judah was dissected. And
here's Floyd Mayweather taking away Zab Judah's jab. Now just watch. Notice how Zab's hands were up at first, but as he begins to take away that jab, Zab puts that lead right hand down by his waist, and then Mayweather begins to just close the distance and just pick him apart at will. This was pretty much the beginning of the end of Zab Judah. So this is just an example of why I wanted to add that this could be the wrong blueprint for Marquez. Number one, Marquez is a much better boxer than Zab. I'll give him that. But he's not as big as Zab. His hands are not as fast as Zab, and the angles of which Zab was having success against Floyd Mayweather was coming from an entirely different stance. Okay? I think by what I read this morning, I think they're going to end up putting together the entire...
Yeah. There you saw it, man. I told you, like I said before, a lot of guys are looking at the wrong parts of the video. Mayweather was dealing with the speed he had not seen previously when he fought Zab, and he compensated. Like I said, he's one of the most cerebral fighters in the game. Zab was throwing out that jab. Mayweather was coming right over the top of it. Stunt his whole fight plan for the rest of the fight. In fact, Amir Khan used the same blueprint when he beat Zab. Go back and look at that fight. The only difference is he didn't counter the jab with his own jab. He was countering it with hooks. Because he had so much range, he was throwing wide fucking hooks with speed, and he was just slapping Zab Judah all across his damn head every time he put that right hand out there, that right hand jab out there. Amir Khan was coming right over the top. He used the same blueprint Mayweather used. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is go and watch that fight, and you'll see it. I know I ain't that damn rusty, man. I haven't seen the fight in a while, but I remember that. But the same thing's gonna happen, man. If you have any chinks in your armor, it's gonna be exposed, man. Like I've said before many times, a Mayweather fight sorts out the facts. Any vulnerabilities that you got is gonna be laid out in front of you. And I think that's what's gonna happen in this fight. Initially, I thought it was gonna be very competitive, and it still can be. This is just a prediction. My prediction does not mean the fight plays out the way I say it plays out. I'm not Negro Damas, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to use intangibles and what they put on tape in the past to verify why I believe what's going to happen. That's why I believe it's going to happen. Pacquiao's lack of defense, that weak-ass jab, I think he finally is going to have to pay for the mistakes that he's been making in all of his fights. But he has gotten away with it time and time again because his speed is so unreal. Now, it's a very good possibility that his speed is so damn unreal that he still won't have to pay for it. That he could still get away with it. I don't know. I don't fight. I've never been in the ring with those guys ever in my life. I have no idea what Pacquiao's speed is like or Mayweather's speed is like. Mayweather has no idea what Pacquiao's speed is like. Pacquiao has no idea what Mayweather's speed is like. So, just looking at all factors, this is what leads me to believe that's going to take place. And I think if he takes Pacquiao's jab away from him, he's going to beat the shit out of Pacquiao, man. honestly. And that's not no hatred or anything like that. I think if Pacquiao is reduced to just one hand against that fool named Mayweather, it's gonna be a dominating fucking performance. Canelo type performance. Maybe even he may even get him out of there. I don't know. Um, I know that's bold to say that. That's kind of indicative of guys who are just diehard Mayweather fans. But if you really take time to break the film down, it's really not a hard conclusion to make. I have no love for this guy. He don't take me out. We don't go and spend money like he do on his crew. He don't pay no bills here. He don't take care of my family. There's no affiliation here. It's the same. There's no affiliation with Pacquiao. I have no affiliation with any fighter except the guys that I know personally, which may skew my videos in their favor. I can agree to that. In my opinion, nobody gonna beat the Charlos. Nobody gonna beat Juan Diaz. I mean, I know these guys, so I'm probably gonna be biased. I don't know Mayweather. There's no bias here for him. I'm just being honest. I'm just being for real with you, man. You saw the video. Now there's nobody else that has broken down that fight in that manner to show you exactly what made the fight change. That's exactly what made the fight change. Period. And we'll just have to see what's gonna happen, man. I think this may be a dominant. I think Mayweather really wants to prove, man, that the guy's not on this level, and that at no point in his career was he ever on this level. And as far as skill, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, Pacquiao is who he is and deserves a lot of the credit that he has gotten. He's fought the guys that they have on his resume. It's not like they were playing Connect Four. He fought these men. He beat these men. The reasons why he beat these men, I mean, everybody can have their own interpretation of that. But the bottom line is he is a man. He's not a machine. This is not a video game. These are two men in the ring engaging in combat. And punches fucking hurt. You know what I'm saying? Punches hurt. They hurt. I can never stress that enough. I've always said that, and I've stood on that because it's the truth. Punches hurt. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's just taking those punches because he wants to do this. He wants to show him he can take it up." That's not true. Okay, it's just not true. No fighter in the world wants you to hit them. It's just the way that it is. It's just part of the game, though, so they know that they're going to get hit. There's no way to avoid it. Just like there's no way to avoid not being hurt in your career. At some point in your career, you're gonna get hurt in a fight. It's just the way that it goes. There are no protective armor. There are no shields. It's just two men in there getting it on, and some punches are gonna get in. That's just the way it goes down. Even James Toney got rocked in a fight. It may have took him till he was bloated and just unbelievably big and overweight, but he still got hurt and buckled in a fight. You know what I'm saying? They're just on his way out of the game. But the bottom line is he got hurt. And Bernard Hopkins, he got buckled a little bit against Kovalev, put them things on him. You know, it's a lot of guys who got chins in the game. Mayweather got a chin. He's been hurt. You know, it has to happen, you know. So we'll just have to see what happens, man. But in my interpretation, this is what I think is going to happen. Feel free to disagree. Keep it 100 with me. Leave it in the comment section. I'll exchange, you know what I'm saying, comments with you and stuff like that. But I really think that's what's gonna happen. I don't think his speed is gonna bail him out. I don't think his power gonna bail. It takes a whole lot more than speed and a whole lot more than power to beat this guy. Everything has to be aligned correctly for it to take place. And I don't think Freddie Roach is gonna. I mean, he can be in the media. He can have the media just all on his side and having them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you dominate press coverage, that don't mean one bit when that bell rings. There's no entertainment going on when the fight happens. There's no talking and going to the media and bragging and saying what you're going to do. None of that matters when the bell rings, man. It's only going to be between those two fighters. And I don't think one training camp of trying to prepare for Mayweather is going to be enough for Pacquiao trying to try new things. You're not gonna beat Mayweather just trying new stuff out. Everything has to already be there and be seasoned. You didn't see Maidana trying new things when he fought Mayweather. That's why he gave him trouble. He stuck to what got him to that point. And if you really think about it, Maidana may not have the skills like other boxer punchers. Well, he's not a boxer puncher, but Maidana is a master of his punching range. He knows exactly where he has to be to make his punches get off and get the full effect off of them. Watch his fights. He never uses a jab to set up those big shots. He don't need it. Once he closes that distance on you, he knows where his range is. A lot of guys who are boxer punchers still haven't mastered that. Look at Sean Porter. How many times has this guy darted in and overshot his punching range? He ain't got nothing on his shots because he got too close in. I'm mouth watering. I'm all excited. Overshot his punching range to where the most effect he can get off his punches are not there because he ain't got too close to these guys. A lot of guys have not mastered their punching range. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys. Maidana mastered his range. He knows where to get in terms of approaching a fighter, and when closing the distance, he knows where the proper distance he need to be to get the most effect off of his punches. And a lot of guys who can't do that, they set it up the most fundamental way with the jabs. Same with Pacquiao. Same with Mayweather. He sets his up with jabs. His punching range is set up by a jab or the straight right. But at the end of the day, they know how to set it up. Pacquiao, I think, with him setting it up with that little quick rangefinder, I just think Mayweather's coming over the top of that all day. Freddie Roach can try to tell him, hey, don't do that. But Manny Pacquiao has been doing it through his 12, 15 plus year career. I don't foresee him in the biggest fight of his life not doing the same things he's been doing prior to that, getting him to this point. So there you have it. Mayweather dominates the fight. That's my prediction. If anything is wrong on Mayweather's side, if his timing is not right, if he overtrained, hell, man, shit, I'm not even saying that. Pacquiao may win the fight. You know what I'm saying? He may just win the fight. He may just be the better man that night. But in my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even see it to be. I just don't see it happening like that. I think Mayweather takes him to boxing school. Sweet science 101. Bring your notepad. Bring your pencils and your pens. Don't be tardy. I'm going to have to send you with a referral to the AP's office and get you some damn detention around this motherfucker. So I think it's going to be school in session, man. Sorry for you guys who wanted a different prediction. It is what it is, man. That's what's going to happen in my book. If I'm wrong, you know I'm ready to fire up the barbecue pit and throw that crow on there. You can boil it, fricassee it, put it in the oven. If that don't happen, if what I say don't happen, I'll eat the crow. There's no pride here. This is just what I think is gonna happen. Mayweather by victory, whether stoppage or decision. I don't know. I just think he dominates the fight. Let me know what you think, Deuce.